Hey guys, I'm on the farm and I'm in front of some of my most exciting new products that we've been working on for 2 years straight. These are dwarf tomatoes, and if you guys follow me, you know I just talk about these all the time because I really do think these are going to be the tomatoes of the future. These are amazing open pollinated varieties. They are oftentimes crossed with heirlooms. They are not necessarily a hybrid, and they're definitely not a GMO if that's what you're thinking. These are just tomatoes that have been bred to be small and short and compact and easy to use. They're really incredible. I'm gonna go into all the details about them in this video, but before I do that, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. So for those of you who follow us, you know that like that's all I talk about. I mean, it's like mulch, 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 and now it's dwarf, 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 dwarf tomatoes. I really am obsessed with them. And the reason being is we've all grown tomatoes that are fabulous, that have really great flavor, but man, they're a pain in the butt to trellis or to stake up. You have to have like this huge, crazy like Fort Knox structure to be able to grow some of the heirloom varieties like Black Crim and Purple Cherokee, and they're great and they're delicious, but they're a lot of work. And spoiler alert, on a farm setting, they're darn near impossible to grow really easily because of the labor and the time it takes to trellis these things. So there's the Dwarf Tomato project that is absolutely fabulous, and because of that project, we have a lot of new varieties that have been bred specifically for being small, squat, easy to trellis, and still give you loads of really great tomatoes. You can see we already have some tomatoes forming on here, which is really awesome. Now, out of that project have come hundreds, if not maybe thousands of new varieties. Some of them are really great, some of them are not so great. Part of what we're doing here on the farm is we're trialing these to find some of our favorites. And these are varieties that have really amazing flavor, tomato quality, and they're really nice and small and easy to manage. I like calling them little Christmas trees because that's what they look like. In fact, actually, I think some people might mistake our farm for like a cannabis farm sometimes, because from afar, you might look and be like, are they growing pot? No, we're growing tomatoes. And now these are really neat because they're so small, but the thing that is what I'm really passionate about is the flavor behind them. So you're not getting like sauce tomatoes, like a Roma or a San Marzano. This particular variety here, which we have on our website and we've grown several years, is called the Rosella Purple. I love it because it gives you fat, delicious, yummy, big old slicing tomatoes, not tiny little cherries or little sauce tomatoes. They're really good on a BLT, but you don't have to deal with all of the staking and the trellising that you do with some of the larger varieties. Now, keep in mind, we're still going to stake these. And we're gonna do that in part because I need them to be up off the ground. I need them to be easy to monitor for diseases and pests. And I need them to be neat. So one little wooden stake is enough. I don't have to go crazy. In fact, you can see the stakes that we're gonna use this year. In fact, a stake like this will work perfectly fine. I don't have to go crazy. We bought these, and these are great natural wood stakes. This is all this tomato plant is gonna need during the growing season. Now that's some soft soil that I can do that. I'm gonna tie these guys up. And keep in mind, last year we didn't even do that. Last year we actually just let them grow because we wanted to see what would happen. And mid-season they did get a little messy for my taste, but for the backyard gardener, especially if you're only growing 1 or 2 plants, it might be very easy to do that. For us, we had like 150 plants, it got out of control. So a very simple wood stake is all this is going to need, and I'm gonna be able to get nice, big, beautiful, fat tomatoes off of it this year that I can use, like I said, on my BLT. I can use it in so many different ways. Now, if you watch our staking video, what I just did, not actually a good idea. You really want to stake when you plant them, not after the fact, so that you're not running through a bunch of roots and doing some damage to the plant. But for the video's sake, you know, production value, I just wanted to show you that. It's not gonna kill the tomato, but I am putting undue stress on it, and I really wanna get in the habit of trellising the moment that I plant them. Always better to do the work in the beginning than later on. So let's talk a little bit about varieties. There's a lot of varieties out there on the market. More and more are coming about, and you can tell from this field that we have a lot of different things growing. Now, before you get super excited and run to our website and look for this particular variety, keep in mind this may not make the cut. It depends on a lot of factors. How is the flavor? What's the disease resistant? How well does it do out on the farm? There's so many different parameters that we put into deciding what goes into our catalog. This may not make it. This is just one of the many that we have out here that we're trialing to decide how good they are. Now, what we do here on the farm, we do collective breeding, we do participatory breeding, and what that means is you, as the gardener, you get to participate. We actually have an event on the farm where people come out and we taste these, so it's not just my taste buds that decide which ones are really good. Our customers and our gardeners get to participate in that as well, so make sure you check out that event. Dwarf tomatoes are just one of the many kinds that are out there, but for us, it is something we're really excited about because if you live in zone 9 and 10, you likely live in an area where space is a premium. And that means you may not have the space for this gigantic, crazy pole indeterminate tomato. I don't want to discourage you from growing them. They're absolutely fabulous, but there is a place in every garden for a dwarf tomato because they don't take up a lot of room, they have fabulous flavor, and they're very easy to work with and not as much work. So whether you grow a dwarf or an indeterminate or determinate or any type of tomato, get out there and grow a tomato because it's so much fun, and explore the many, many new varieties that we have coming out into our catalog this year and into the following years.